We've theorized plenty on the topic of extraterrestrial visitors over the past little while. The released footage of UFOs, or as they're now officially referred to as UAPs, stoked the public's imagination, and the follow-up report released by the Pentagon gave folks even more to work with. Still no solid answers though. How disappointing. There's lots to think about and consider while discussing aliens and their potential communications with us Earthlings, but what if they were here to warn us about something? What if they came back in time to give us a fighting chance, huh? Or maybe they traveled through time to do something different. What if aliens are from the future? This opens up a whole new can of worms now, doesn't it? There are so many implications when you bring time travel into the equation. It's hard to decide where to start, but start we shall, and someday we'll finish. And then someone will time travel to this moment and it'll all happen again forever. Great! Instead of falling down that time loop rabbit hole, let's start thinking about what aliens being from the future could mean. First of all, we'd be reckoning with the idea that time travel is indeed real and possible. Time is no longer a meaningless measurement that we use to schedule appointments. It moves in multiple directions and is quite possibly happening all the time forever. Like, currently, we are traveling through time. We're traveling forward, in one direction, ever on into the future. All that is real is happening right now. The past and future are simply abstract concepts. Fun, right? We've always had this idea of hopping into a funky machine and heading to the past or some far off future, but that would require somehow moving more quickly than 1 second per second through time, and nobody's figured out how to do that quite yet. If aliens did figure it out, that would change the way that everyone perceives reality, and it would finally fly in the face of the main argument against time travel being possible. The longer you think about this idea, the more you realize that we're probably never going to figure out time travel. Why? Well, because if someone had figured it out at some point in the far off future, don't you think that at some point they would travel back in time and we'd find out? Sure, there have been conspiracies and hoaxes about certain people being time travelers, but nothing concrete. If time stretches on for eternity and nobody's popped back to the present day, or what was the present day a while ago, how can we believe that at any point in the timeline, time travel will be possible? The way things are going, I'm sure people would love to come back and experience nature in its purest form before we goofed everything up. We haven't seen any of that yet, but hey, it could just be that there are very strict rules about interacting with people from the past while time traveling. Sci-fi has reckoned with this idea constantly. Going into the past and altering something could have huge ramifications for the days to come. The butterfly effect and all. We love chaos. So let's be real. The folks from the future, if they were to ever pop in for a visit, would likely be as secretive as possible. They're not risking goofing up the entire timeline for a quick vacation to the glory days. No sir. That leads us into the next possibility here, much more alien specific. Now, the UFOs we've seen lately and the idea of greys from outer space visiting, those are all quite exciting. The possibility of life from elsewhere in the universe gets everyone's brain buzzing, right? But what if these visitors weren't from somewhere else? What if way down the line humans evolved and changed to become more alien-like? What are the odds that other intelligent life in the universe just so happens to be largely humanoid? Like 2 arms, 2 legs, round head, the works. I'd say on different planets, under different circumstances, aliens would look more like other creatures, yeah? Instead of humans, we could have giant octopuses with flailing limbs to better pilot complex spacecraft. Maybe some floating sentient orbs full of knowledge with less material needs like food and water. Seems more likely to survive in the vacuum of space, you know? So, hear me out. What if the aliens we've claimed to have had close encounters with aren't actually from another world? What if they're humans, evolved and changed with added time travel capacity from the future? We could hypothetically live on for ages, growing and changing to adapt to the challenges of a post-industrial world, and eventually become these odd humanoid creatures featured in sci-fi. It would make sense that they went back in time to see what things were like now, especially if the climate disaster we're predicting is looming large. Our descendants might want to come back and see how their ancestors lived life before the world irreversibly changed. To me, that's more likely than aliens from off-world from the future scooting back through time to see what life was like on our little blue marble. It would also explain the supposed abductions and experiments so closely associated with these visitors and the UFOs. Instead of coming back and announcing their presence, they would just take some data back with them to supplement their futuristic textbooks. And if we're not fighting in some future war that wants to enlist folks from the past, then why would they let us know of their presence at all? A couple little mistakes might mean that their time machines get caught on radar and video, but they're so advanced that we've got no real answers for it. Classic. So far, we've reckoned with time travel being real and considered that alien visitors might just be humans from the future. So we'll cap it off with a wild idea, which is equally depressing and comforting, so strap in. Consider this. If aliens, human or not, are coming back from the future to see what's going on right here, right now, something big must be going on. Either this is the pinnacle of enjoyable society, or history that will affect the rest of the galaxy is happening in this moment. The first option is cool, because that means we're here at a great time, but it also means that it's all downhill from here, which isn't so lovely. The second option is also quite exciting because it means we're going to witness some incredible, important stuff. However, living in times of great upheaval often means things go to for a while. Not ideal. Really what I'm trying to say is enjoy the time that you're living in right now because we're not too likely to see it again, and aliens may or may not be looking on in anticipation. Sheesh. So there you have it. Plenty to consider when thinking about aliens from the future, eh? And I only covered a thin sliver of what could be going down. So what do you think? Do any of my theories hit home? What's your favorite time travel theory? Make sure you let me know down in the comments. Speaking of comments, let's take a look at some of your more quizzical ones from What If You Were Abducted by Aliens. CodGod11 says, I would just say Baba Booey over and over, and the aliens would then finally know there's no intelligent life on Earth. Fox Jake says, then I would escape in the emergency pod and become a space outlaw. If they want to come after me, I'll give them a reason. Good luck out there, I'm rooting for you. Sarah Jane says, it would depend on how aliens feel and what they want to do to us. Which I mean, yeah, pretty much. Ghost in the Darkness says, if I was abducted by aliens, I would ask them to pick up the rest of my family and let's get the hell out of here. Oh, and can you answer some questions too? Family? Dom Toretto, is that you? Is the Fast and Furious franchise finally going to deep space? And Mahmoud Bason says, if this happens, I'll try to steal anything from them to get bragging rights and proof, since there is no law that says stealing from aliens is a crime. Well, no laws on Earth anyway. Good luck dealing with intergalactic law. And that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Let's talk about some more aliens. We love aliens here. We love aliens, we love demons. That's my whole life for the past month or so. It's aliens, angels, and demons. That's it. Nothing else. I'm gonna become one of the above. I don't know which though.